This is my second take on making a video about these Cloze, C-L-O-Z-E, Cloze exercises. And what you're going to see here is an idea that I saw actually in a Polish book, a book that was teaching native Polish speakers to learn English. And what it is, very simply here, we've got a dialogue. The dialogue goes from here down to here, and the sentences that you see in bold right here, it's just one sentence. You've got the literal translation here for Chinese, and then you've got the meaning, how we would actually say it in English here. Okay, but the power of this, literally out of this one page here, you could practice several hundred sentences. In fact, what's called the combinatorial effect of it, you can literally make a couple of thousand dialogues with just what you see in this spread right here. But you don't need a couple of thousand. Yeah, if you can look at 2 pages here and practice a couple of hundred sentences, and you're practicing them in such a way that you've got the repetition that you need, and you'll get used to the what's called the automatic recall, which is what we need to be fluent in a language. We need automatic recall. You're developing that with this. You're not only doing that, but rather than learning grammar rules, you're practicing grammar the way you learned it in your own native language in the beginning. You learned it by doing. You didn't learn it by rules. The way we did in English, and I'm sure most other languages do the same thing, we learned how to speak from the time we were born up until about 6 or 7 years old. Then we went to school and started learning grammar and found out why we speak the way that we do. Okay, we didn't learn grammar first. We learned how to speak first. We learned how to use the grammar, then we learned the rules surrounding it, which I think is the right way. Personally, I don't think you start with grammar rules, because it's boring, and a lot of people, know that it's extremely ineffective. So what you do with this right here, I'm going to do this. The first time I did this, I only talked about the Chinese, but I'm going to talk about it from an English standpoint so that you could see it, and maybe it'll be a little bit clearer. What you do, you've got a dialogue here. You've got 4 statements, person A, and you got person B, and it's just a short dialogue. This starts a new dialogue right here, okay? It's centered around the verb want to do something, want to go here, want to go, you want go. Okay, literally that would be what we call Chinglish. That's a literal translation. The way we would say it, would you like to go? Would you like to go? And it's got 1 here. So you go over here to your right-hand page. This is the layout right here for left page and right page. You go over here. Would you like to go play football? Would you like to go play mahjong? Would you like to go clean the house? Would you like to go play cards? Would you like to go play a game? Would you like to go play basketball? Would you like to go play badminton? So you get the idea. That's how it works. This particular layout allows, since it's teaching Chinese, actually, it's focused on Chinese, and the reason I know that is because I wrote this myself, is because I'm learning Chinese. So I can practice this in Chinese. Ni xiang means you want, would you like, go. Chu means go, okay? And then I substitute this right here, Ti zu qiu ma, okay? So basically what I do is I get this in my mind right here. Ni xiang chu something ma. Ma just means there's a question in Chinese. You always end a yes or no question with ma. Not always, but most commonly you do. All right. Ni xiang chu ti zu qiu ma. Ni xiang chu da ma jiang ma. Okay, so I'm just inserting this right here from the vocabulary boxes. I'm inserting it into where these numbers are. Okay, and again, you could take this one sheet right here and practice, hundreds of sentences. And when you combine them all out, you don't need to do thousands of them, but when you combine it out into what's called the combinatorial, is the way I was taught, the word combinatorial effect of it. When you combine all of this, literally you're learning how to have hundreds, if not thousands, of conversations. But you don't need to go and practice thousands of them. You need to practice this right here. It's based on the most common verbs and the most common nouns or targets, what we would call objects, over here, okay, in a sentence. Okay, so if you like massive sentence learning, which I know that there's a popular method out there that uses massive sentence learning, if you like sentence mining, these are the things you need to do to become fluent, conversationally fluent in language. And a tool like this right here is just incredibly valuable to be able to do that, to have something so concise as a 2-page layout here that can help you practice literally hundreds of different sentences in the context of a dialogue, a conversation. Okay? So that's what this is. That's what this is. 你想去踢足球吗？你想去打麻将吗？你想去打扫房子吗？你想去打牌吗？打牌吗？ Okay, all right. Let's do it in English. Would you like to play football? Would you like to play mahjong? Would you like to clean the house? Would you like to play cards? Would you like to play a game? Would you like to play basketball? Would you like to play badminton? Would you like to play tennis? So you get the idea. You get the idea of what it's doing here. I saw this method in a very, very old book. I say it's an old book. It was written when I was a child, and I'm an old guy. So I saw this in a book where it was a Polish book, actually, for native Polish speakers learning English. Okay? This one happens to be done in Chinese because I'm creating this one right here, right now, and I'm learning Chinese. So, but it literally can be done in any language, and we're going to, me and my team are going to write more and more languages, and we're going to make this, it's going to be one book when we get finished. What it's going to do is, it's going to take the top most frequently used verbs. Here it's xiang, which is you like. You like. The verbal phrase you like. Okay, would you like? Would you like? It's going to take the most frequently used verbs and teach you those throughout this book. You're going to get massive exposure to the language out of this. Okay? Now with Chinese, you're going to have to go back. This right here in the bold is called pinyin, and you're going to have to go back and know exactly, you would have to, before you had this book, you would have to know how to pronounce this. Like that is ni xiang chu. Okay? Ti zu qiu ma on the end there. Okay? So you'd have to know that if you're studying Chinese. You would have to know that. But you could literally take this one page here and study on this one page for I don't know, a week or two, and getting used to hearing these sounds, getting used to making these sounds with your mouth, and once you dig into it, you'll understand the incredible power of exposing yourself to a language and learning a language. So I really don't know what to call it. It's a closed sentence structure with multiple choices to fill in the close blank or gap, you would say. If you're in the UK, you'd call it a gap. This one would represent a gap. This 5 would represent a gap, and it would relate to with whom over here. The 4 would represent a gap or a blank, and you would fill it in with something from the right-hand page. So right here, you can open the book. We're making these books spiral bound, so they'll lay flat, and so that you can sit there, lay them flat, and study and practice. And it's going to lead you with when we do 20, which in this book we'll have the top 20 verbs. We're covering about 90% of conversations. It's going to take place. 85 to 90% of conversations that's going to take place in language. Okay, so again, you could use this particular one if you're a Chinese person learning English. You could use this for learning English. If you're a native English speaking person learning Chinese, you could do that. Or as we'll develop in the future, we'll develop even more languages with this type of learning tool. So, hope it makes sense. I hope if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. I've studied so many different ways in teaching language, and I teach English in China, and have been for the last 14 years. I've had my own very successful school here, training school, teaching English, and a lot of success. I could talk all about that, but I won't bore you with all of that. But anyway, it's a powerful tool. Once you dig into it, you'll see the power of it. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.